Hi everyone. All right, welcome back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move all of this into a function, a car function, and we're actually going to use that car method with different x and y values. All right, so first I'm going to do underneath, I'll do it above the wheel function. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to say function car. All right, now this is of course going to take CTX. We're also going to give it an x value. So I'll give it an x value of, let's just give it a default of 0 right now. A y value with a default of 0. And we will give it an angle value, which will be at 0, and we won't have to worry about that. I'm sorry, but didn't mean to put that semicolon there. All right, so we have this car function. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to gather up, let's see, what I'm going to do. I'm going to gather up all of this stuff that I have in here. Do I want to get the translates? No, I'll leave the translates for now. All right, so I'm just going to gather all of this stuff that's in here between the translates. So between that, and I'm going to skip this stuff that we're going to delete for now. I'm going to just cut that out. So you should see that you cut that all out. And I'm going to put that right into my car method. All right. Now, if we run this now, you should see that there is no car. But if after this translate, if I call the car method on CTX, you'll see that the car is once again drawn in the center of our canvas. All right. Now what we want to do is we want to rewrite each of these coordinates in terms of x and y, which is super easy because we already wrote these in terms of when x and y are 0, right? Because that's that center of our map. We already translated to the center. This is all perfect. So all we have to do is rewrite these in terms of x. So, and that's just as simple as throwing an x in the equation, just adding x to whatever we have here, right? Because to go from x equals 0 to negative 20, all we have to do is add negative 20 or subtract 20, however you'd like to think about it. So this, instead of being x minus 20, this will become, instead of being minus 20, this will become x minus 20. If you run this, you'll see that there is actually no change. All right, instead of this being minus 15, this will be y minus 15. All right, now it's always going to be x and then y. All right, you've got to make sure to alternate these. Over here in this line 2, again, you just add x to whatever the existing value is. So instead of this being 20, this would be 20 plus x, or I'd like to write it with the variable term first, so this will be x plus 20. And again, this will be y minus 15. Over here, this will be x plus 30. This will be y minus 5. This will be x plus 50. This will be y plus 0. Or, in this case, you could just put y, since we know the identity rule of addition. Any integer plus 0 is that integer. A plus 0 equals a. That identity rule. Hopefully you know that. If not, I'm going to have to fight some of your math teachers. All right, so if we just add x and y terms to each of these, we can actually get this so that we are drawing our car in terms of x and y. All right, and now I'm just going to, and before I finish adding x and y to this last value, I do want to show you something. All right, we didn't enter an x or y value in for this car method, and so it used the default x is 0, y is 0. But if we did enter in values, and again, I'll just enter in the 0, 0, those will be the values used. So currently this is at 0, 0, but what if I made this 10, 0? you should see that it moves slightly over. And there'll be another issue that we have to look at. I'd love it if this would draw. Did I lose connection? There you go. And it moves it slightly to the right. Now you'll see there's some issue with the car, right? Not everything's perfect because the wheels didn't move and the body's a little bit dragged out. Let's move it even further over. I'm going to move it over by 30. All right. So again, the body moves over, the wheels haven't moved, and there's still some weirdness towards the end here. That's because this is not in terms of X and Y, so that's actually not shifting from the position that it was. If I do put it in terms of X and Y, which I'll do right now, and you don't have to add these spaces here between the X or Y and the operation sign and the numbers. I just do that because I like it. But yeah. Now you'll see that the body still maintains the shape that we had before. It does shift over. Now, what can we do to make the wheel shift over? Same thing. Just put it in terms of X and Y. All right. Now, currently, for our wheel function, and this is a good reason why we put the car above it so we can just look below at the wheel. The wheel function takes CTX, which we have, an X value, a Y value, an R value, and an A value for angle. Again, we're just not going to do this yet. We'll do this later on, probably tomorrow. All right. So we have provided an X and Y value to them. But as we mentioned before, we can put these instead of hard values, hard-coded values like 30 and 15, we can put them as variable values, in terms of an expression of X and Y. So I can make this X plus 30, and I can make this Y plus 15. I can make this X minus 25, and I can make this Y plus 15. And now when I run it, the wheels will move with my car as well. All right. Now I'm going to go back up here. We can finally delete this section over here that says delete when done. We don't need to know where the center of the canvas is anymore. And now we have the ability to draw cars wherever we want. So I have a car that's at 30, 0. But I could also make a car that's at, let's say, negative 20. Let's put negative 50. And now I have two cars, right, in two different spots on the canvas. And I could put as many cars as I can reasonably fit, and this would be perfect. In fact, if I wanted to make these smaller, I could as well. I can scale around each of these, and that would actually make them smaller or larger depending on where we are. But there you go. That's a good first. It's a good way, good place to stop today. We've just put everything in the car method. Again, we just cut and paste everything. If something's not working, just go back to that part in the beginning where we cut and paste things, and make sure that you have something that looks pretty similar to this as your car method. And this is what your draw method should look like now that we've done this. All right, everyone. I hope you had fun with this again today. We're going to actually make it so that the wheels will look like they're rotating with the cars, and we can actually control the speed of that rotation. And then after that, by Thursday, we'll have cars zooming back and forth across our page. All right. Please don't forget to submit the attendance for the day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.